You join us at Hawthorne Den for this top of the table clash as league leaders Lasswade welcome second place West of Scotland. West won the first leg at Burnbrae earlier in the season, and Lasswade will be looking to redress the balance with a win today. Both sides have their eye on the prize as today's winning team will find themselves sitting pretty at the top of BT National League Division 3. And in charge of today's game is Jonathan McKinnon, a former fully paid up member of the front row, originally from the island of Skye. Lewis Clark, his clearance kicks charged down by Fraser Smeaton. He crosses the line and it's first blood for West of Scotland this afternoon. A dream start for them, a tragic start for Lasswade, but they get first points on the board. Ross Macaulay charged with the task of getting the extras, gives it a good old hook and pulls it to the right of the post. Not a great start for him, nonetheless. So Turnbull with a throw in for Lasswade. Great take there by Dougie. Oh, but he's been toppled. It looks as though the West players impeded and actually assisted in him. It looks as if he had a nasty fall there. And Tom Gray's been pulled forward by John McKinnon. Let's have a wee word with Jamie Macaulay, and there we go. It's a yellow for Tom Gray. He's going to go for a wee seat in the bin. Lasswade take the line out. Great taken by Lamond there. Lasswade forwards, secure it and drive it on. They've got the momentum there. Tremendous bit of rucking. They're taking that ball on. They're up over West of Scotland's 22. Lasswade still firmly in possession here. James Elliott getting in on the act just to secure the ball. Ball goes to ground. And Lasswade forwards still in possession here. Some great counter rucking from West of Scotland, but Lasswade's managed to regain possession. Ball went loose. And still just inside the West of Scotland 22, and Dale Robertson with the ball at his feet at the base of the ruck. He pops out to Donald Hearn. He goes to ground. James Elliott, oh, it's badly laid back though. Well rescued by Mark Billiam. And James Elliott with the ball, pops it out to Lewis Clark. He puts a wee chip in. I think he's seen a potential penalty there and marks him, takes it into touch, but nonetheless Jonathan McKinnon has pulled him back for a penalty, with West of Scotland players being adjudged to be offside. So Lewis Clark with a chance to put first points on the board for Lasswade, and he does. West of Scotland 5, Lasswade 3. So Lasswade with a throw in on the halfway line. Dylan Turnbull, the ball in hand. Goes for a long one to the tail, beautifully taken by Dougie Hearn and secured. Lasswade not really going anywhere at the moment, but they do have possession. And I think James Elliott's decided it's probably time to have it out. Pops out to Lewis Clark, not a great pass. Dale Robertson. Oh, lovely show and go from the big fella. Steps inside 2, steps inside 3, lays it off to Dougie Hearn. He's tackled and goes to ground. Ball comes back. Hunter in possession now. Lasswade up to West of Scotland's 10 metre line. And the ball's fed back once more to the blind Ali Lamond. Mark Billingham pairing up there. Mark Billingham taking out 2 players. This is great work from Lasswade. Back to the open side. Oh, terrible pass. Bit of confusion there. And I think Donald Hearn tidies the job up. Lasswade's still in possession though. They're not really making a lot of yards, but still in possession. Elliott out to Hunter. Hunter show and go. And he's well tackled by Ian Henderson. Oh, lovely. Beautifully ripped away there by Angus Thompson, the West flanker. A lovely bit of work. And Tran's digging it out there. And a wee show and go. Tran follows up. He's got the ball in possession and he's well tackled though. Feeds it back again Dean Henderson. Henderson goes to ground. Weston's possession now up to Lasswade between the 22 and the try line. Comes back to Macaulay. Macaulay, the big fella, show and go. That's a massive sidestep and show. But unfortunately knocked on by Fraser Smeaton. So Lasswade in possession up over the halfway line. Elliott to Lamond. Lamond out to Donald Hearn. He takes it in. Lasswade still in possession. Robertson screaming for it on the short side. And not a great pass to Mark Billingham. Ball goes to ground, but Jonathan McKinnon's blown up. I think he's a bit unhappy with something he's seen, and he's asked Jamie Macaulay to come in. And it looks as if Fraser Smeaton is going for 10 minutes in the bin. I think he was offside at the side of the ruck there a few seconds ago. Lasswade in possession on their 22. Andy Hall tries to clear from his own 22. Straight down the throat of the West winger. Fintan Cuthbertson. He returns it with interest. Lasswade still in possession within their own 22 though. Dougie Hearn takes the ball in. And I think the problem is he's not released it. Jonathan McKinnon's given West of Scotland a penalty on the 22. Mark Sim trying to take the quick one, but he's pulled them back. Ross Macaulay, can he add the 3 points? Oh, it looks like he's just pulled it to the right. So he's yet to put 3 points on the board for this afternoon for West. Henderson with the throw in. Lovely take by Mark Jenkinson. West Scotland's consolidate just on Lasswade's try line here. And West not really getting a momentum. Lasswade making it very difficult for them. Still in possession though. Richie Tran. Oh, he spots a wee gap inside Dale Robertson. And he goes over himself for a solo effort. And for the second try this afternoon for West of Scotland. Ross Macaulay. Yes, and he gets his first points on the board this afternoon at the boot. So Lasswade with an attacking line out, 5 metres off West of Scotland's try line. Turnbull with the ball. Lovely ball to the front for Ali Lamond, takes it cleanly. Lasswade, but Donald Hearn's got the ball in hand. Lasswade forwards, driving on. And I think that's over. Yep, Jonathan McKinnon says it's a try. And somewhere at the bottom of that pile is Donald Hearn. Getting Lasswade out the blocks this afternoon with the first try on the board. Taking the score to West 12, Lasswade 8. Can Lewis Clark make it 12-10? He's hit it straight enough, but it's run out of gas. It has, yep, just dropped short of the bar. So the score still stays at 12-8. Lasswade going to the second half, trailing 12 points to 8. But they've got the wind at their back. And they're in possession. Turnbull throws the ball in to Lamond, takes lovely. Lasswade still in possession. They're not really going anywhere. It's pretty static. Starting to build a little bit of pressure now though. And we gained a couple of metres and they're still edging towards West of Scotland's try line. And the West forwards are still holding them out though. He's doing a pretty good job. And I think the West hooker Ian Henderson has crept in offside and does his best to look innocent of his guilty charge, but nonetheless he walks. Lamond takes it. Lasswade with another attacking line out on the 5 metres. Donald Hearn with the ball in hand. And Lasswade still in possession. West doing a pretty good job of holding them out. But I think it's crossed the line and it looks as though, I think that's Ali Lamond at the bottom there. It is indeed. Ali Lamond getting the try there. A former scrum half who converted to the second row this season. Can Lewis Clark get the extra 2 points? No, he's not having the best of day with the boot today. That's 1 from 3. Don Turnbull, the throw in, and he's overthrown it though. And it's gone to ground. West have picked it up though. And Fraser Smeaton does a lovely job of cleaning up. But I think Donald Hearn has gone a bit high. He was checking his collar size as he ran past, and for that privilege he's been sent to the bin for 10 minutes. So West with an attacking line out right on Lasswade's 5 metre line. West forwards in control here, still have the ball in possession, they're still making ground. Lasswade really doing a frantic job in holding them back though. It looks like West have got the momentum and they're across the line, and Jonathan McKinnon says that's a try. That is a try. And I think that's Andy Ritchie putting together a great afternoon for the West back row. So replacement Blair Smith taking the conversion. It's a good effort, connected well, but he pulled it to the left. So West of Scotland firmly in the lead now. So we're into the 79th minute of the game, and Lasswade have got a fantastic opportunity to perhaps take something from this game with an attacking line out on West of Scotland's 5 metre line. Well taken by Richard Borthwick there. Lasswade forwards consolidating, just getting ready for the drive. They're throwing everything at the kitchen sink. In goes Hennessy. In goes David Hall. I don't know who's got the ball, but it looks as though they've actually, by some miracle, crossed the West line. Jonathan McKinnon's given the try. We'll wait and see who it is that emerges with the ball in hand. And it looks like Andy Hall. The fullbacks actually scored the try amongst all those forwards. And can Lewis Clark make it 20 points to 17? No, he can't. They're into extra time. And West of Scotland in possession. They're trying to truck their way out. Their own 22. They're making a bit of ground. They're heading towards Lasswade's 10 metre line. And I think they've spilled the ball, and it looks as though that's the last throw of the dice. And Jonathan McKinnon blows full time on what has been a miraculous victory for Lasswade over West of Scotland, who beat them 18 points to 17 in the dying seconds of this game. But for West of Scotland, they must be thinking, where did it all go wrong? They were narrowly beaten last weekend by Dumfries Saints at home, and they came here today thinking they were obviously going to do a job on Lasswade. They did a very good job on Lasswade for 79 minutes of it, leading for most of it. And unfortunately the game was snatched from under the nose in the 79th minute of this game. But for me and the LRTV team, that's it from us, and bye for now. I'm joined by Jamie Macaulay, West Scotland's captain today. Jamie, tough game there today. The momentum didn't roll in your favour in the last 5 minutes.
No, we didn't help ourselves. It's always a tough game coming here. And our game plan was probably kick the corners, which we weren't doing too effectively. Didn't really help ourselves. And Lasswade were clinical in the tight, so that was the story really. It was
a game really where neither side really, to be fair, got into the groove and into the momentum, into a routine. You know, it was quite scrappy in a way.
Yeah, totally. As I say, our game plan was pin Lasswade back. Did it effectively sometimes, got our scores, then went back to the old bad habits of not kicking the ball when we should kick the ball, getting turned over and getting pinned back ourselves. So.
There was evidence of maybe West getting frustrated. There was quite a lot of chat. You were in good terms with the referee for a while. They've been involved in a lot of chat.
Yep, I'd say he's one of my good mates now after how much I spoke to him. But no, we didn't help ourselves at all. We've been like that, a wee bit guilty of that all year. Just back chat to the refs never really helps any situation, so we just need to learn from this, I think.
Yeah. And after that narrow defeat from Dumfries last week, this is a game this week really you could have gone in, you could have done with coming away today from today's game with a win, couldn't you?
Yep, it's closing out games for us. It seems to be the thing. We've had a few bad years, as everyone in this league seems to say to us. But no, we need to learn. It's a learning curve for us. It's a young team. I think the average age is well under 25, so we just need to learn how to close out a game.
Well, you've got Hoyk YM next week, so you'll be looking to go and do something there and keep the points tally up for the top of the table.
Yeah, well, we need a win. We need to get back up there. We're kind of slipping a wee bit. It'll be tough. Hoyk YM, Hoyk teams are always tough. All the borderers are. It was tough down there. We scraped the bonus point out of it. Hopefully we can get a good win next week.
Well, Jamie, I think you're still in with a chance. You know, you're still top three yet, and there's a few more games to go under the belt. So, you know, let's hope you can. We'll see the West of Scotland progress as the season goes on.
Yep, hopefully we'll be up there at the end. Top two.
Jamie, thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Mark Billiam, great victory for Lasswade today, and to coin a phrase, you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat at the end there.
Yeah, it was. Today it was going to be nothing but like a really, really close game. They gave us a pretty good game through there. We had some key personnel missing, but today we had as strong a pack as we could. And you know, in the weather conditions, it was going to be tough, and it was the toughest game we've played this season.
Was that quite a frustrating game because it seemed as though neither team got into the groove or into their game plan?
Yeah, I think both sides probably got pinged quite a lot at breakdown by their own doing. The ref I thought was very good today, very fair as well. And you know, it was our own doing that we both teams just nullified ourselves at breakdown a lot of the time. So it was a bit stop-starty. But you know, know, in a tight top of the table clash, it's going to be nothing but that. So.
Yeah. Well, you've got you missed out a local derby last year. The weather deprived you of that last weekend, but you've got Royal High Carstorphon next weekend. That must be a tremendous lift today going into that game, because they've obviously found a bit of form.
Yeah. It's we had them here at the beginning of the season in the tournament. It was a tough day that day as well. We had them back out here, and it's a tough game. I think we won it a little bit by a good whack of points in the end, but it was a tough game, and it's going to be the same through there. They've sort of come onto a bit of form. They got an extra game between Christmas and the end of Christmas, so they've had an extra game under their belt. So yeah, but I think the cobwebs will be well and truly gone now. So.
Well, you must be a very relieved man today.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's good to get that out the way and a win under the belt. So.
Well done, Mark.
Cheers.